Yeah, good morning, traders.
Good morning.
All right, good morning, sir. Good to have everybody on board.
How was your weekend, sir?
Very fine, thank you. Okay, so let's.
Papa Hotel.
Yes, sir. Morning, sir. Good to have you on board, sir. All right, so let's get started. My name is Mr. Motosho. So this week, there are a lot of fundamental events this week, and there were some events also that happened, over the weekend. If you follow the news, you discover that there was an attack, on Israel, Iraq, Iran rather attacked Israel over the weekend, and that might have an impact on the market. Now, to what extent we can't really say, but we need to bear that in mind while we are trading in the course of this week. I'm trying to get a link for you on that. But then if you just go to Google, you'll see that there was really an attack on Israel by Iraq. I think that happened on Saturday thereabouts. I'm on CNN.com now. I'll show us a link there. Okay, this one is showing why Iran attacked Israel and what comes next. I'm trying to get the specific one that shows that Iran attacked Israel. But then, like I said, if you go online, you see a lot of videos. You see write-ups on different websites. Okay, you can see my CNN page now. It's showing us why Iran attacked Israel and what comes next. It's not exactly what I wanted to show you, but at least it still shows us that there was an attack. This is showing how did Iran attack Israel. Like I see CNN, the wave of drones and missiles that flew towards Israel overnight on Sunday brought with it a new phase of tension, uncertainty. So the attack happened Saturday night, stroke Sunday morning. So that will really have some implication on the market. All right, so we need to take note, and that tells us that instruments like gold, like crude oil, because Iran is one of the major exporters of crude oil globally. Gold and crude oil may, at this point, it's still a may. We can't say 100%, but it's a possibility that these instruments will be affected by, this attack that happened. So we'll look at things both on the fundamental and the technical angle, for this specific instruments. Yes, Mr. Idomatu, you raised up your hand. What do you want to tell us, sir? You have a question? Idomatu, your hand is raised. Do you want to ask a question or you want to tell us something? All right, maybe that's just, maybe it was an error. So let's continue. So aside that news that happened over the weekend, there are a lot of fundamental events this week that should really move the market, all things being equal. Like today, the event we have today, it's one of its rare cases. We really don't have much fundamental on Mondays, but today we're having a fundamental event by 1:30 p.m. and that's the core retail sales, Empire State Manufacturing Index, and the retail sales. Now, I'll come back to the explanation on that. Other important events we have for the week. On Tuesday, we're going to be having the CPI from Canada. Canada CPI is coming up on Tuesday. And please kindly mark all these events I'm showing you because these are events that will move the market this week. Even this one for today, core retail sales and retail sales from the US will move the market. So I wanted to take note of those events. And on Wednesday, okay, same Tuesday night, 11:45 p.m., CPI from New Zealand, it will move the market. So we can take note of that also. And please, as you're joining this class, kindly mute your device so that we don't cause distraction. And on Wednesday, 7 a.m. in the morning, we're going to be having CPI again. I think this week is a week of CPI for different, instruments. Please mute your device. All right, so on Wednesday, 7 a.m. in the morning, we have CPI again from the United Kingdom. And on Thursday, 2 a.m., there's employment change, unemployment rate, from Australia. That is Australia's own version of NFP. I always tell us NFP is just peculiar to US. It's still the same employment news that other countries also have. And on Thursday, again, there's unemployment claims from the United States. This will also move the market. Existing home sales to do move the market. So that is coming as a medium impact does not mean it will not move the market. It could move the market. And finally, Friday, we have retail sales from the United Kingdom. So all these events I marked are the major events that will move the market this week. So back to what I was sharing before, let's go back to today. Today, we're looking at core retail sales, Empire State Manufacturing, and retail sales. That's these three, and all of them, from the United States by 1:30 p.m. Now, let's just quickly open this information, this news, and know the details so that the information can guide us to know how to trade it. So if I click on the details here, the core retail sales measures the change in the total value of sales at the retail level, excluding automobiles, and actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. And the Empire State Manufacturing is the level of a diffusion index based on surveyed manufacturers in New York State. So this is specific to New York. And also actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. And retail sales is changing the total value of sales at the retail level. And actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. Now, you see that there's a lot of similarity between retail sales and core retail sales. So the only difference is that for core retail sales, automobiles are excluded, so they are very close. But the one that is completely different is the Empire State Manufacturing. So if by 1:30 p.m., the previous data, sorry, the forecast rather, for core retail sales is 0.5%. If by 1:30 p.m., the actual data, the one that will be released here, if it is above 0.5, 0.6 upward, it means we are buying the dollar. Same thing for Empire State Manufacturing Index. The forecast, why am I saying previous? The forecast is minus 5.2. If the actual is greater, now a data greater than minus 5 should be from minus 4. It will tend towards 0. So if you see a minus 4, then it means we are still buying the dollar. However, if it's less than that, that is minus 6. It means we are selling the dollar. And if by say 1:30 p.m., the retail sales, the forecast is 0.4%. If the actual is 0.5% and above, it means we are buying, the dollar. So if it's the opposite that happens, it means we are selling. So to make it easier, we're going to focus on the colors. Now, if we end up having a green, it means the dollar will be very bullish and we can buy USD JPY, USD CHF, or USD CAD. And if on the other hand, it's a red, it means we are selling the dollar. We are selling USD JPY, USD CHF, or USD CAD. Now, because the data, the news are not, all of them are not completely related, it is possible to have conflicting data. And what I mean is that core retail sales and retail sales are related. Empire State Manufacturing is not saying the same thing. So it's possible we may have a green and a green, and we may also have possibly a red. In such instance, what I would suggest we do is to go with what the technical is saying. So by the time we check the technical, if the dollar is bullish, for example, on the technical, and the news comes out so that you have a green for core retail sales and retail sales, and a red for Empire State, we can still buy, because at least we have two of the events going in the direction of what the technical is saying. And if also on the other hand, we have a red core retail sales, red retail sales, and a green Empire State Manufacturing. If the technical is saying sell, we can still sell in such an instance also. But if all this data, the majority of it does not align with what the technical is saying, it's advisable to stay out, in such a situation. What I mean is that if the technical is saying a bullish dollar, and we're having a red scenario like we're saying, it's better to just stay out, in such a scenario. Or better still, if all this thing is complex to you, if you are having conflicting data like this, just stay out altogether. Three things we do in forex trading: we buy, we sell, or we stay out. So if you don't have clarity, please, it's advisable to stay out, because you don't want to take a risk that will impact upon your trading capital at the end of the day. All right, so that being said, I'll flip over now to the technical. We'll look at the technical setup for both this news event and other technical setup for the week. We're looking at the weekly outlook this morning. Now, I'll start with the dollar. So we'll look at the dollar index. Now, the dollar index on the daily time frame, we can see that price currently is, at the resistance level on the daily time frame. So, and when price is at the resistance, we are actually expecting a reversal in price. So technically, we are looking for a bearish movement on the dollar index. And we can zoom down to 1 hour to 4 hours to just see, if we have further confirmations to that. And you can see that on 1 hour, price has been ranging around this resistance, even forming a rejection candle at some point. So I hold a bearish outlook, on the dollar, meaning I expect the dollar to go bearish, because I'm seeing the dollar index at the resistance level. So also technically what that means is that, or fundamentally rather, if the news today comes out, not to favor the dollar, then I'll be looking to sell either the USD the USD CHF, or the USD CAD, because that's what I'm seeing technically on the dollar index. Now, next I'll check the USD CHF, and I can see that the USD CHF on the weekly time frame, price is actually trading at a resistance level on the weekly. Just like the dollar index is at a resistance level on the daily, USD CHF is at a resistance level on the weekly time frame. So if you go zoom to the daily, zoom to 1 hour, 4 hour, but on 4 hour, it's actually forming a rising wedge on the 4 hour time frame. But we can still zoom down to 1 hour if you want to. But basically, all I'm showing us is that the dollar is looking bearish as at this morning. What we're seeing is a bearish pattern on the dollar. So we have price hitting the resistance on the weekly time frame, and forming a rising wedge on 4 hour, and it's equally looking like it may end up as a kind of a double top, which might lead to a bearish breakout. So I hold a bearish outlook on the USD CHF. Okay, somebody is saying no audio. Is that the experience of other people? Can you hear me? Bamidele Olatunji is saying he cannot hear me.
We can hear you, sir.
All right.
We can hear you, sir.
Good morning, sir. We can hear you very well.
So I'm bearish on the dollar. And next I'll be looking at is the AUD USD. Now the AUD USD price came very, very close to this support level. It can still be taken as part, as a range, as a zone, as a support zone. And currently, we are seeing it, bouncing off into the bullish direction. So I hold a bullish outlook on the AUD USD technically. Now, two things could happen. Price might drop before breaking out finally. That's a possibility because currently the RSI is trying to break out above 50. It's currently at 49, but I think it may drop a little before breaking out. But either way, even if it breaks out from here, I will still take it, But generally, I'm bullish on the AUD USD. So if the USD CHF is bearish, definitely AUD USD is going to be bullish. So I hold a bullish outlook on the AUD USD. And next is the GBP USD. Excuse me. Also, I hold a bullish outlook on the GBP USD. For this one also, we have a support level here. Price came a little close to it. It's still okay. We can even take it as a kind of a support zone using this region here. So that's why I would say that support sometimes is not really a whole number, but a zone. We have a minor support zone here. And the price might break out bullish from that angle. Yeah, it looks like price has broken the trend line, but by experience, I still believe there may be some retracement before a final continuation upwards. But then ultimately, I'm bullish on the GBP USD also. And next is the New Zealand card. Now for New Zealand card, I hold a bullish outlook. On the 4-hour time frame, I can see that price hit a support level. And if you go to daily, it's actually a valid support in previous time. And it looks like it's ranging at this point currently. And if we flip down to 4-hour, we can see it's a support that could actually lead to a double bottom. But then what we need now is just that it's a support. And if we flip down to 1 hour, it's still a support. And I'm having a pattern here that looks like an inverse head and shoulder, which could lead to a bullish breakout on New Zealand card. So I'm bullish on New Zealand card. And I'm also bullish on New Zealand USD. Now you see that the AUD USD, GBP USD, New Zealand USD, they are all bullish because the dollar is bearish. So for this one also, just like what we can see on the GBP USD, we have a minor support, a support zone here. And this is still a part of that support. That's this point here. So we can zoom down to 1 hour and expect a bullish breakout also. Now the other ones I have GBP, AUD, and GBP CAD. These ones are bullish. Now for GBP CAD, now I looked at this instrument last week. It actually broke out forward, upwards rather, and I still expect further bullish movement on this instrument. It's a swing setup. I've been giving us intraday all along. This one is a swing setup. On the weekly time frame, we can say we have an uptrend here. That is a trend line that is going upwards. So technically, we expect a bullish continuation. That's from the weekly time frame. And zooming down to 4 hour, last week we looked at this and it actually broke out. You can see the falling wedge, it broke out formed an inverse head and shoulder. I think I gave this analysis last week, and it went up. In fact, I think it got as high as the Fibonacci 61.8 last week. So it actually was able to move its normal movement. You can see it at 61.8 up there. So that was a perfect setup for last week. It's one of the valid trade calls I made last week. Now, this week, it will still continue in the bullish direction. Towards the end of last week, it actually experienced a retracement, but then it's going to move up again this week. Why do I say such? Because it's also forming another inverse head and shoulder right here, and will climb up, from there. And that's on 4 hour. If you go to the daily, you will see the same thing on the daily time frame also. If you look clearly on the daily, it's an inverse head and shoulder and a breakout. So I'm bullish again this week on the GBP card. So on 4 hour, now on 4 hour, you can see there is a rejection candle here, even touching the trend line. And that will be the launch pad, to the bullish breakout. Now, if you want to play smart, you may enter a buy now, but I will advise you use a very small lot size to do that. Don't take any unreasonable risk. But normally, the entry should be the break above the neckline, which is the breakout above this zone. But you can make an early entry, with a small lot size. And later on, when price now breaks the neckline, you may enter a second trade. So I'm bullish on the GBP card for this week. And also, like I said, there's a GBP AUD also still the same, something close to what we have on the GBP card. Okay, I think we should just hold on to the GBP card alone for now. This one, the structure is changing. What I saw here earlier was an inverse head and shoulder. Should break out, but it seems to be coming down. Let's ignore the GBP AUD. GBP card is good enough for now. So let's hold on to the GBP card. That's more valid. Now, I'll go to the other sensitive instruments now, and that's the US oil, gold, and BTC. For BTC USD, I hold a bearish outlook for this week. Now, remember I said it last week that BTC USD might form a pattern, a reversal pattern, which, it's more obvious on the weekly time frame. Yeah, on the weekly time frame, actually what is visible here is a double top pattern, which should lead to a bearish breakout. And I said this last week, for those of us that were around last week, I think on Friday, I remember giving us a bearish outlook on BTC. I said it was going to sell. I don't know. I know we don't all trade it, but there was somebody that asked specifically that I said that there was a resistance here that will lead to a bearish breakout, a resistance and a double top. I don't know if that person took that trade on Friday because it really was very massive. It was a massive breakout, that BTC USD experienced. So unfortunately, my screen is not loading it as I expect. Okay, good. I remember telling us clearly that this was going to be a double top and a breakout. This is the neckline, and the price broke out massively. We could have another bearish continuation this week. So technically, I'm expecting price is retracing at the moment. I'm sorry, I may not be able to take too many questions. My battery is extremely very low. I'll be stopping very soon. So just please be patient. Be listening to what I'm saying so that it can help you. So currently, price is retracing and testing an old resistance, and expect a further, bearish breakout from that point. Now, we should also not neglect the fact that there is a support zone there is a support zone here. So if price retraces back, it will first retrace back to that support. It's only if price breaks that support that further continuation will happen. If it gets to that support and it does not break, it will still bounce back to this old resistance level. So we can go down to a lower time frame like 1 hour. Say people are crying on BT. They told you to continue to buy. See, trading is not about thinking, though. Please, it's not about thinking. You trade what you see. That the BTC will go to this amount does not mean it will go there on a straight line. It will do a buy and a sell. It will do a higher high and a higher low, lower and a lower low. That's what happens. So don't just say because it will buy. You know, and I said you are doing long term. And if you are doing long term, just you are holding. You don't care whether it's fluctuating in such instance. All right, so this is what I have here. I have a rising wedge, and I'm expecting a bearish, movement on BTC for this week. Like I said, my battery is very low. Now, for the crude oil, which is US oil, I did this analysis last week. I'm still waiting for if price breaks. Now, this now is a very sensitive one. This one and gold. I'm going to end with this too. It's a lot dependent on the fundamentals that is happening around Iran and Israel, both the crude oil and gold. It may now. Where's gold? My battery is almost gone. Let me quickly get gold. All right. Gold technically is supposed to sell. You can see we have a very big rejection candle from last week. But with the news, it's possible it may buy. Now, technically, before this news broke out, I was seeing this screen. Before this news that happened over the weekend, I was seeing on the 4 hour, I was seeing a head and shoulder on gold and it was supposed to sell. Two things could happen. Is either gold ignores that fundamental event and sell by breaking the support zone, or if it breaks out above the support zone, it's going to buy. So currently, gold is trading within a range. The upper band, the resistance, the lower band, the support. So please trade gold as it moves. I'm not saying whether it's going to be a buy or a sell. It depends now on the market forces. If it breaks out above, it's a buy. If it breaks out below, it means the market is ignoring the fundamental of the attack of Iran on Israel and is going to sell in such an instance. The same thing is happening to crude oil. Crude oil is technically a sell from the analysis I gave last week. But with the attack, there'll be a reduction in the supply of crude oil, and that could lead to an increase in the price of crude oil in the market. So this one too could either buy, or if the market forces are ignored, it may sell. So please trade these two with caution. I'm sorry I have to end here. My battery is flat. Please trade safe and have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir. Bye. Have a nice day.